Hey, gamer friends, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Josiah, and we are ready to roll. We wanted to make a video about our journey through our playlist series that we did on BGG ranked games. And so we wanted to share with you guys what we discovered about the good, the bad, and the ugly in regard to BGG and what it offers and what it maybe lacks and things like that.
Right, because when we were going through it, it was like there were some things that were really helpful, some things that weren't so helpful. And so, I don't know, it just sparked some conversation.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
So first, in BGG, it is Board Game Geek. It's all things board games. It's kind of the catch-all for anything.
Central hub for all board gamers.
Online, yes.
Yeah.
So we thought, do you want to start with the good first, maybe? And then, or do we want to start with like the things we don't love?
Yeah, let's start with what we don't love.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is the forums.
Yeah.
Because although they can be helpful, people on the internet are mean.
They can be.
They can be. Yeah. Some people are great.
Yeah.
But some people on the internet, they just get behind a keyboard and they feel like they can say anything they want or do anything they want. And unfortunately, BGG is not a stranger to those things. It happens.
Right.
I mean, every website typically has like a code of conduct that you have to abide by. And I'm sure they're no different. And so I'm not saying these are even like horrible things most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, a lot of snark maybe, or a lot of things that I just am like, I don't know.
And I think this is something that you run into anytime you have an open forum,
100%,
format. And so, and BGG does have that. And so,
I mean, we even get it sometimes.
We do.
Just so anytime you're online putting out anything, you're going to have people who are just haters.
Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the review comments on games are not always super helpful.
They are not.
Sometimes people aren't very succinct or very good at explaining what they are talking about or what they're meaning when they review a game. And so it sometimes is a little muddly. Sometimes it can throw you off of a game that maybe, you would actually like.
Right.
Which did happen to us.
It's happened multiple times, I think.
Yeah.
The reviews themselves, like, it's interesting to watch because sometimes people will rank a game and then review it, which is great, except that their review doesn't seem to match their ranking, and that's really funny. And I know that, like, there are some people out there that do board game content where they're playing games about board games, and one of the things that they do is they bring that up and they'll read comments and they make people guess what the ranking is based on the comments because it's really funny.
Yeah.
But because of that, it's not always very helpful.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll get this is the worst game I've ever played, and they rank it 5 or 6.
Yes, and you're like, okay.
You're like, wait, that doesn't match very well.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so you go to reviews thinking, I'm going to read the reviews and see what this is about. And it's very hit or
Sometimes
miss.
it's helpful.
Yes.
Sometimes it's helpful, but sometimes it's not.
Yes. And it's like people who will rank the game even when they've never played the game, which is the craziest thing to me. I do not understand that.
I don't understand that either.
They just rank it based on watching a review of it, or maybe I'm going to put a 1 here because somebody put a 10 here, and it's like the game hasn't even come out yet, and things like that you're just, none of those things are helpful.
Right. That's right.
And so it doesn't, anyway.
Yeah.
So I want it to be more helpful in that way.
So read the reviews with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Yes. That's the point.
Add it to your pile of evidence, that you're building for the game of whether or not you want it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing is they skew towards heavy games. And so because it's mostly like board game hobbyists that go on BGG and rank things, it's not always. There may be some like maybe what we would call casual gamers that occasionally will go on there. But I think for the most part, it's people who are really in the hobby doing these things. And so because of that, it tends to rank on the heavier side. So sometimes a good card game, like a little card game, might get ranked a lot lower than it maybe deserves, because it's a really great game, but because it's not very difficult or, a very long, crunchy, intense game, it doesn't necessarily get the accolades it deserves.
Right.
I do think it might be moving a little bit, at least in my experience, moving a little bit in the right direction in that, but
I hope so, and not to swing the pendulum the other way.
Oh no, definitely,
because I love big heavy games sometimes.
Yes,
but I think that I want great games that are simple or fast or easy to also be ranked where they maybe should be,
because they're really good. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one that we want to talk about, and the negative category, is similar to the other one that I talked about. It's the descriptions. Sometimes the descriptions of games are not very good, in my opinion.
Right.
This happened actually to us. We were going through games that we were maybe excited about or not looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And one of the games that we were not looking forward to based on the description.
Right, alone, because that's all we had to go by.
That's all we had, and some pictures of the game.
Yes.
But the description made it seem like really boring and not fun at all. But thankfully, you guys in the community were able to tell us, hey, that's not actually accurate. This is a really good game and you should try it. Yeah. And we do have it on our list to try because of that. And so it's something that we've come across where the descriptions of games sometimes are not very helpful in selling the game, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, and I think some of them do a really great job. So I don't know who writes all the descriptions. I don't know if it's the people that are presenting the game or if there's other people who go in and write the descriptions. I'm not really sure how all that works. I haven't looked into it. Yeah. But it would be nice if they... you would think that they'd really want to sell the game. Right. So, I don't know. Some of them sound boring, though. It's
a little hit and miss. More hit than miss, I would say.
I would say.
For sure. But there are definitely some misses out there.
Okay, so now we want to talk about what we love about BGG.
And there's a lot.
There are. So, first it's a lot of info about games. You can go look at a game and you can see all the ins and outs of the game. And I love that. It gives you rankings. It gives you... complexity and player count and all these different things, and it's just all in one location, and that's really nice.
It is.
You can go to the individual publisher and usually find out more information about a game that way, but typically it's like a lot of the same content all on BGG, and you're just going to the one place, and so I appreciate that.
It's nice to have a central hub,
yes.
A central place you can go to for basically any information you want.
Right, exactly.
About board games. Another thing that we mentioned or that we talked about was it has a hotness list.
Yes.
The thing that the games that are really gaining a lot of momentum.
Yes.
Yeah, and attention.
I think it's the way that it works is the people that go to that particular game, like it kind of ranks it based on that. So it's like, oh, somebody mention this game and it's starting to gain popularity and more people are clicking on it basically, and so the clicks make it go into the hotness list.
Yeah, which is kind of fun.
It is fun
because you kind of
like to look at it,
see what's the community gravitating towards right now,
and there's always like some old faithfuls in there, like in the top 50 of the hotness. There's always some like good games going on in there, but then there's usually right up front in the first few, it's like all the new things coming out, or maybe right now it has games coming out that are about to come out from Gen Con and stuff like that. So like you're able to see some of those games, and that's really fun.
And it's not an end all be all or anything like that, but it's just a really fun thing to be able to, like I said, see where the community's going. Yeah. And maybe, you get some good ideas from that. Right. Maybe you don't, but it's a tool, exactly, right? Exactly. It's just another tool.
I love that BGG allows you to rank your games. That is so fun to me. I enjoy that, and because it is the hub, a lot of like the apps like BG Stats and Pub Meeple and all these tools work with BGG. And so it can pull your rankings in. And I really enjoy that it allows you to do that, because I can go and see what my rankings are for different games. Oh, I played that, but it's been a while. What did I think of it the first time I played it? Maybe I want to change it now, after I've played it a while. And I enjoy that. I think that's really fun.
And playing off of that, BGG allows you, because it connects with those like Pub Meeple and BG Stats, it allows you to log your statistics. Right. So you can log your games that you've played, and it keeps stats for you. And we use BG Stats. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing it for a little while now, right?
BG Stats, we've done it for over a year, but I mean, I would say, yeah, it's probably been over a year that we've like really consistently been keeping track.
Yeah, hardcore. And I love it. It's so much fun to be able to look back and say, okay, this is my win percentage. This is how many games we've played. This is how many games we've played this many times.
Right.
All of those really fun things, bragging rights, that it's just really fun. And BGG allows you to sync up with that and do that. And that's really cool.
Yeah, but if you don't want to pay for it, because BG Stats is a paid app. And so if you don't want to pay for anything, you can keep a lot of stats on BGG. Yeah. And it's free. And that's really nice. But you do have to go in and make sure you're logged in and all the things. But so definitely BG Stats is easier if you're logging. But if you want to try it and see if you like it, that's a really good way to do it, because you can log plays, you can see who you played each game with, you can track who won and all of that. So
absolutely.
It's really nice. So we talked about the forums and how sometimes the people on the internet aren't always super kind. But with that being said, the forums are also on the positive side, because sometimes you may have a question about a game or a component or a rule, and you can go and look it up, and 9 times out of 10 it's already going to be on there. Somebody's asked that question and someone else in the community has answered it, and I really like that. That makes it, we've looked up so many game questions or rule questions that way of like, ooh, we ran into this thing, I can't find it in the rule book, let me just look it up real quick and see if somebody else has asked that question.
Absolutely.
And that's really nice.
Yeah, really helpful to have the power of the whole community.
You're right.
In that aspect, to help you with your gameplay and to increase your experience level.
Exactly.
Another thing that we love about BGG is that it tells you from what the community's input is, what the optimum player count is.
Right.
Which is really helpful, like way more helpful than you might imagine if you don't pay attention to that.
Right, because we play games at 2-player.
Yes.
And the vast majority of the time, not always.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of games that are better not to play at 2-player.
Right.
And if you go on there, you're going to be able to see, the community says 3 or 4 players is the best. Or maybe it's a 3 or 4 or 6-player game, but it says it's better at 2.
Right.
Like, that's good information to know.
Yeah, and you guys have heard us talk about this before, but before we were plugged into BGG, we played Marvel Champions, and we played it at 4-player. And we didn't have a good experience with it. And we finally, did some research online and figured out, people are saying it's best at 2. So we played at 2, fell in love with it.
Right.
Amazing experience. We love the game now.
Yeah, completely different game.
Yeah. So that's the power of knowing that information, is it can really make a game sing, or it can really sink a game if you don't know, right? And so love that about BGG.
So if you're not putting in that information in your games, like for other people, I highly recommend going in and putting your opinion of that in. Absolutely. Because I think it is really valuable.
Help the community out.
The same kind of vein as that is the complexity or the weight of a game.
Yeah.
So BGG allows you to go in and you click on it, and you click on the weight, and it'll give you options, and you can actually rank what you think that game is weighted.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy that as well. It does change over time, obviously, because the more people play a game, the more people that are ranking it and saying what they think is the weight. So it will change over time, but it's good to know kind of what you're getting yourself into, because I think it ranks it from 0 to 5, and 5 being like the heaviest it can be.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't know what they consider. I feel like it's 3.5 and above might be
That sounds
considered
right.
like heavy. I would have
Or
to
maybe
double check
4 and
that.
above is heavy, and
3.5 is like medium heavy.
Medium heavy, yeah. Something
Anyway,
like that.
so you can look at that number and automatically at least get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Like you see it and it's a 2, you might be like, okay, I know that that's a pretty family weight game, or you automatically know what to expect. Or I look on it and it says 4.6, I'm like, got it.
Yeah, it's a heavy game.
That's gonna be a hard teach.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of rules. Like you kind of already know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, and when with the movement that you talked about, like it can sometimes move. It's generally not big movement. You don't see a game go from like 2 to 5 or 2 to 4, right? It's like it goes from 4.4, maybe it goes down to 4.1, or up or down. Like it's usually small changes.
That's true.
But it can move a little bit.
But also with that being said, that kind of stuff is very subjective.
Yeah.
And so what I consider a heavy game, someone who's used to playing heavy games might be like, that's not a heavy game.
Right.
That's a medium.
That's a really good point.
And so there is some subjectivity to that, but generally speaking, I've found it helpful.
Absolutely. Another thing that's super helpful is people can upload images of the game, like they're like images of the boards and the components and the layout and things like that. And that's really helpful when you're looking at a game, maybe to purchase. It is, what does it actually look like? You can read the description, and now you have an image to lay on top of that, and it's really helpful to have that.
Yeah, especially because you're like such a component guy and you want to see what it looks like, and you're very...
And I'm a visual person.
Yeah, so it's like, can I see what it looks like when it's all set out on the table?
Right.
What is it going to look like?
Yeah, super, super helpful.
And then kind of along those lines, and the last thing we want to talk about is that they have videos on BGG that are really helpful. There's how to play videos. There's highlight videos. There's different things like that. So when you look up a game and you scroll down, you're going to see videos about that game. Not always, but a lot of times, especially for popular games, you're going to find videos. So there might be reviews of that game that are going to be on there, and you're just going to be able to click on it right there and look and find exactly what you need. And so that's a really handy tool.
It is. Yeah. It's sort of, again, going back to that like one-stop shop kind of idea that BGG has, and I find it so helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not perfect by any means, but it is what we have as a community. And the layout and things like that, I mean, it doesn't look great. It looks like it was set up a very long time ago.
Right.
But it does the job, and I'm happy with it. Yeah. So
it's a functional website.
It's a functional website. That's right.
Which is fine.
And it's not difficult to use.
No.
So
it's not at all.
It just doesn't have a lot of like, I don't know. Modern websites look better, but this doesn't look like that.
Yeah. But there is a lot to like and a lot to love about BGG.
Yes.
And we do.
Yeah. And all the other stuff I just skip over.
Right.
I just ignore it.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
And tell us down below what you like and what you dislike about BGG. We want to hear about it.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.